questions of what's the right dose to start at? What's the best compound to start with? When should we even start administering it? Day one, week one, year one, when?
So we're here, Colette. This is Soul Psychedelphia. I know a lot of work you've put in here over the last several weeks to bring this wonderful event together. So I want to thank you so much for everything that you've done to bring this event together. But what is it like to be here on the day, finally?
It's just so amazing to be here, and just big thanks to all of you too, and just so many hands that have gone into this, and this is really almost the essence of why we're doing this work, is that we believe in doing this work in community and really having community supported engagement. So it's almost like this beautiful example of why we're really passionate about decriminalization, to be able to meet here together and be in community. It's so amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And I want to talk a little bit about the element of community and how important that is. You know, I think with so much happening here in the psychedelic sector, everyone always talks about all the clinical trials that are happening with all the different companies, but I think what gets lost in a lot of that is how is psychedelic healing going to make its way into the communities, particularly communities that are oftentimes forgotten about and left behind.
Yeah.
And that's why I think events like this are so important, because you're starting the conversation here within the community. So talk to me a little bit about what the element of community means to you and what you hope to accomplish through your work with Decriminalize Nature Philadelphia.
Well, you know, growing up in Philadelphia and, you know, still being here, still very much being part of the community here, it's you know, as I've shared before, you know, Philadelphia is really struggling with a lot of aspects of poverty, entrenched violent crime. You know, something like, you know, 20% of the individuals that live in the city make less than $13,000 a year. And that just affects all of the aspects of receiving access to mental health care, general health care. And you know, on top of that, we have a mostly black city. Yeah. And, you know, for us working with these tools on a community level, it's really, you know, we also have so many people that are working with these tools already. Right. And so, you know, for us as an organization, it's wanting to be able to make safe space, especially for people of color in the community, to be able to use these tools. Right. And to, you know, bring it into the light. And I think that's part of the issue in the psychedelic space right now, is that without really you know, navigating these power dynamics and having things really be in a community context. You know, these are ancestral tools that were used in community, that this is really the model that we're wanting to access and to support for really people's safety, for having really supportive processes, right. And also to be able to keep people, you know, out of prison and not be like continuing the prison industrial complex as, you know, entheogenic tools are becoming more and more mainstream. So helping protect our citizens here in the city too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's like we've recognized that the system is broken. It needs to be fixed. I think this is a wonderful approach. We talked about how important community is. I want to also talk about the element of education and how important that is, because very much this event is centered around education and starting to educate folks about psychedelic assisted healing. And it's still a concept that I think is very foreign to a lot of people out there. They hear psychedelics and, you know, I don't think they understand, you know, exactly what psychedelic assisted healing is. So talk to me a little bit about the work you're also doing on the educational front and how that's helping to create the framework that's going to be necessary to incorporate psychedelic assisted healing into communities?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I mean, really, even right now, our conversations with City Council that we're starting to have, you know, we're educating them about what these tools even are. So many people do not really understand what they are. There's also a lot of stigma around these tools, kind of cross-culturally, but especially in the Black community. So like, we actually have a lot of members that are supportive of decrim, and many of them I've just kind of seen starting to come into today, but like having those conversations with Black community members about what these tools are and trying to, you know, remove the stigma, but also simultaneously really empower people with education around, you know, what it looks like to be able to use these tools with reducing risk, having support, starting small, you know, having those resources for being able to be supported. And this is also a simultaneous process for us, that we are simultaneously, as we grow, are trying to capacitate other aspects of us as an organization to be able to support people in better ways, for how to be able to use these tools in safer ways. And I think that, again, it comes back to like bringing them out of, you know, I'm thinking about the word in Spanish, like the darkness, you know, the oscuridad, like to bring them out into the light, so that way we're being able to really share them in a good way. But you know, having the conversation and sharing that information in a supportive way.
Absolutely.